Hello there. On the program on Tuesday, the national spokesperson of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, Barrister Felix Morka, was on the show to defend his party regarding the alleged hoarding of nomination forms by the Planning Committee and other events preceding activities ahead of the National Convention scheduled to hold this Saturday. Now, some members of the APC who had purchased forms to the tune of 5 million naira and above, specifically, I'm talking about Ambassador Dagogo Fubara and Dr. Umar Duhu, among others. Tonight, the aggrieved aspirants have decided to join me to counter the claims made by the National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka. I will be having right here in the studio Ambassador Dagogo Fubara from Nigeria's South region, and joining via Zoom from the Northern region, Barrister Muhammad Mustafa and Dr. Umar Duhu. Meanwhile, Nigeria's ruling All Progressives Congress, the APC, is calling the defection of Governor of Zamfara from the PDP into its fold as a homecoming. APC leaders say the governor's first-term performance makes him a natural fit for the progressives' fold, expressing hope that the move will finally turn the tide against the state's persistent insecurity. These remarks headlined a grand reception in Gusau led by Vice President Kashim Shettima. Now, you may recall that on Monday, March 23, 2026, we made efforts to link up with the spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party, PDP's Abdul Rahman Muhammad-led caretaker committee during the National Working Committee meeting in Abuja, where he declared the readiness of the group to go ahead with its national convention billed for Sunday, March 29 and 30. 2026 in the nation's capital amidst the continuous failing reconciliation with the Kabir Turaki's group. On Wednesday, the Turaki-led group, in a statement issued by the spokesperson Ini Ememobong, said, and I quote, "I can unequivocally confirm that as of today, leaders of both sides have broken the ice and are exploring various pathways towards a lasting resolution. We urge our supporters across the board to immediately de-escalate high-tempered communications and actions so as not to jeopardize the ongoing peace efforts." Now, to all aspirants who have stood with us thus far, we assure you that by the grace of God, our party will field candidates for all elective offices in compliance with Article 6, Sub 2 of the Constitution of the PDP as amended in 2017. End of quote. Now, does this statement signify, the popular saying that there is light at the end of the tunnel? We'll certainly keep tabs on the unfolding events for the next 4 days and see how all of this pan out. Now, also to join me in the studio is a PDP chieftain and ace public affairs analyst and social impact expert, Segun Showumi. This is Democracy Today on Africa Independent Television, AIT, and I am Enemaku Ojochibe. Welcome.
Fair complex as thousands of supporters gathered to witness Governor Lawan's formal entry into his new political home. The ceremony featured influential members of the APC hierarchy, joining the vice president, who represent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, were members of the National Assembly, several ministers, and a heavy contingent of fellow state governors. For those in attendance, Governor Lawan's move is a strategic play to tighter collaboration with the federal government, specifically to bolster military and security efforts in the troubled state.
Here to welcome our brother, His Excellency Dauda Lawan, into our fold. Daga yau APC ta zama abu daya. Ina son tun daga sama har ƙasa.
The Vice President pledged increased federal support, praising Governor Lawan's existing strides in infrastructure, while welcoming him to a party that now controls 31 of the Nigerian 36 states.
The message to the people is that what binds us together supersedes whatever that divides us. We need to fuse into one to confront our common challenges of insecurity, poverty, and destitution, especially in the North. The President is unwaveringly committed towards ensuring the enthronement of peace and stability in the nation.
Governor Lawan explained the challenge in his former party influenced his decision to join the APC, but maintain his rescue mission remains unchanged.
No, the only thing that is constant is change. I haven't realized all the challenges the party, my former party, is facing. The only wise decision is to move forward so that you can join the progressive and be able to align with federal government to get things going for the states. I said it very clear, the fact that I have changed from PDP to APC does not stop any infrastructure or any kind of development in Zamfara state.
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, this is Democracy Today on AIT. My guest, Dagogo Fubara, an aspirant and a member of the ruling APC, is right here in the studio. Thanks for joining us on the program tonight.
Thank you very much.
Now, before we go on, let me ask you, look at what you saw in that report. Another PDP governor has just jumped ship into your party, the ruling APC. You are very impressed by this, I believe.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm very, very much impressed with what's happening because we also have more governors that are yet to come into the All Progressive Congress. Yes.
But if your party, the ruling APC, as it claims, is doing very well for Nigerians and Nigerians are happy according to your leadership, why do you feel this very happy and wooing governors into your fold to expand your population where you already have the population and the strength across the country to win the next election?
That's to show that the All Progressive Congress is a beautiful bride. You know very well when you have a beautiful bride, all eyes want to be on that bride. So the All Progressive is a beautiful bride. So you can see that's why the defection is coming in left, right, and center.
All right.
So we're open for more defectors to come in.
It's all right. Away from defections now, members of your party are seriously aggrieved regarding, what I will call infractions in your party, things like your convention is coming this weekend, things like nomination forms that are, well, to put it mildly, not enough for some aspirants. I understand that you are an aspirant yourself for a position, and this is not going down well with many of you. How is it panning out? How did you people even get to the point of nomination forms not being enough, and then agreement is coming in?
I think yesterday you had the National Publicity Secretary.
Yes,
on
one
set.
of your colleagues, Felix Moka.
Exactly, and he came on set to dissect the procedure that was specified for this exercise.
Okay.
And I believe that majority of the aspirants, including my humble self, followed that procedure, and it got us to where we are today.
All right.
I know very well that I don't want to go in deeply into it because the matter is somewhere, so I don't want to tamper with it yet.
It's okay.
Yeah, so, but we can proceed in going into other issues.
What elected position are you aspiring to win anyway?
All right, I'm aspiring for the office of the National Deputy Vice Chairman, South, which was zoned to River State. And I believe if I had been in that contest, I would have won. I would have won the contest.
Okay.
Yes.
And I understand that apart from you, other aspirants are complaining that there are not enough forms. That the leadership, those in charge are hoarding the forms and they're not enough, and you're aggrieved, and then you have, initiated some disciplinary measures, if you will, regarding that, because you do not like the way the process is going. What do you think is responsible for, the forms not being enough?
Okay. I believe the people, not the entire NWC that is aware of what is happening, including Mr. President, is not aware of what is happening. I believe there are a microscopic few that decided to hold the form because they know that there are potential candidates that will go into this contest and win at the polls. I believe recently you had the national chairman specifying the processes of obtaining the form. That's to tell you that he's not aware that candidates were deprived. Also the public secretary came on set here and also said there are procedures which you have to obtain the form. And I believe majority of those who paid for this went through the form, including myself, because I was cleared by the account department.
In other words, you're saying there was no step of the process that you missed, or any of you missed by any chance?
100% to follow up the steps. Yeah.
So what could have caused what is going on now?
I believe some persons feel that if we're in the contest, we would have defeated them. And yes, we would have defeated them. I would have defeated them, actually.
You are so confident that you have the popularity that you could have won.
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Oh, yes.
Now, is the NWC aware of what is going on at the moment?
Oh, yes, they are aware of what is going on. In fact, they have set up mechanisms to look into these issues. But I strongly believe that, majority of them are worried with the way things went. But I strongly believe that since the matter is somewhere, I don't want to go into it yet, But I strongly believe that those who went for the delegates who appeared, more especially in the South, before I even came in, I know several calls have been coming in, they were all worried.
In other words, there's a committee, that's supposed to look into these and resolve all of these, or...
I think no committee yet.
Okay.
No committee yet. But I believe they are looking at ways to set up committees.
Felix
to look
Morka
into
did mention yesterday that there's a standing committee that has been set up already to, handle the resolution of these, agreements that you and some of your colleagues.
I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware. I'm only aware of the convention committee.
Okay, what other effort or measure have we put in place to address these and then get justice, so to speak? Since you're not aware of the standing committee that
I think before I went out to let party leaders to know what's going on, I have dissipated all mechanisms of the party to bring the attention of the leaders.
In other words, they failed.
I won't say they failed because we went for Ramadan. A lot of people traveled.
That's right.
There was a break. The president went for UK visit. A lot of activities. But I strongly believe that they are really.
Some persons are saying some of you have even gone to court.
Yes, the matter is in court, but we don't want to go into that yet.
We are not discussing how the issue is in court, but the fact that some of you have been to court, don't you think that's negates some of the ideals and internal mechanisms of your party, because it could have been resolved within?
The internal mechanism has been exhausted. Before you see one goes to court, you have exhausted all the internal mechanisms. So you believe that heading to court will address the matter. You get the point. So for me, I don't want to talk about that yet because I also want to use this medium to thank my supporters, those who emerged from the just concluded Congress in the South. I want to say thank you very much. I want to congratulate them for coming out to go for this contest.
All right.
I wish them the best, except the office which I vying for.
All right. Now that in the event that Felix Morka did mention yesterday that in the nomination cost of the forms that you and your colleagues paid and all of that, that he did something like it is non-refundable, that you are already aware of that, talking about the processes that not. So does it mean you people will just forfeit it in the manner of gentleman's agreement, or is it unity kind of stuff? We don't want any trouble. Let's just let the money go. Is that how it's going to go, or you'll be refunded? Which way?
Okay, for me, I've been in this contest several times. I have been defeated, and I took it in good faith. Some, I was screened out based on some technicalities which I failed to conclude by, and I didn't ask for refund. In this contest, I am not requesting for refund. I believe that when that component address the issue, we will go into this. I'm not asking for
refund. Because you believe you're still going
to... Oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes,
right.
So I'm not asking for refund. I'm not asking for a refund.
All right, just hold on with your thoughts. Barrister Mustafa Mohammed is also an aspirant just like yourself. He joins me now via Zoom. Thanks for joining the program tonight. You must have heard what your colleague said here. How is your own situation panning out as well? Because I understand that you're also aspiring for elective position. Mohammed, could you unmute the microphone on your device so that we can hear you clearly? I believe you have done that now. Barrister Mustafa, can you hear me now? Well, I believe you can hear me, but we can't hear you yet. I'll need you to unmute your microphone on your device so that when you speak, we can hear you loud and clear. Well, in that case, there appears to be maybe there's a static in the network. I don't know. We'll try to resolve that as we go ahead. Meanwhile, while we're trying to connect with Mustafa Fubara, your convention comes up this Saturday.
Yeah.
What are your expectations anyway?
My expectations are simple. You know, those who aspired for offices will be elected by the delegates, and I strongly believe that the convention will be peaceful, and members of our party will be proud of the democratic tendencies of electing members in this convention.
I know that you had hoped that by the end of the convention, all of this would have been over and new leaders would have emerged and all of that. You were looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
But there appears to be no time anymore. So how are you still hopeful? Because time is ticking. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I'm still hopeful because we just concluded a zonal convention, and I believe issues will be addressed amicably. So I don't want to go into that, like I said. I understand. There is still hope. There is still hope for leaders to emerge.
Today is Wednesday.
Absolutely.
The convention is coming up this weekend. Mm-hmm. And, I understand the anxieties and, the kind of little jittery here and there that comes with, contests and all of that. Mm-hmm. So how is it with you regarding that?
It's normal. When you want to go for election, you should expect those feelings to resurrect.
All right, just hold that thought. We've been able to reconnect with Barrister Mohammed Mustafa, another aspirant right now. Thanks for joining the program, Barrister Mohammed Mustafa, an APC aspirant from Jalingo. How is it like? Because your colleague is right here, and I understand what your state of mind is right now regarding your aspiration to become a leader in your party. Well, how has it been so far regarding what you've been complaining about, and what hopes do you have for the resolution? Mustafa, can you hear me now?
Oh, no.
Mustafa, can you hear me? Unfortunately, I still can't hear from Mustafa Mohammed from Jalingo. Well, it would have been nice to hear his own side of the story as well. But Fubara, now, as the countdown to the convention this weekend continues, as I mentioned, definitely, as it is synonymous with Nigerian politics and political parties, convention and the fallouts and all of that, there will certainly be, grievances and, issues to be resolved right after the convention. Other members will be aggrieved, those who are not. So how do you think the resolution of issues that will, arise after the convention, considering what you are experiencing now?
Okay, I believe the convention committee has a department that resolve issues that will resurrect from the national conventions. Where people will go and express their displeasure towards some certain abnormalities that didn't go down well in the convention. So I believe that election committee, pre-election, the convention committee will handle that case when, if any, may resurrect.
the Gogo Fubara,
Yes.
an aspirant of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC.
Yes.
We look forward to, how all of this will end going forward. And I hope to have you back here,
Absolutely.
perhaps to discuss a different matter
Absolutely.
going forward.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Don't go away yet. There's more on the program. Stay tuned.
Focus Nigeria. It's a huge task, but we take it on.
Asking where is the law?
National Assembly is not doing hearing on insecurity in Nigeria. It is America that is doing hearing on insecurity in Nigeria.
Monday to Friday on Focus Nigeria, we identify the nagging issues.
Some people put people in poverty deliberately, deliberate misplacement of priorities, and brought people on their knees to suffer.
We seek answers to the tough challenges.
And because of
For
this
the former president,
yes,
what I know is that he has not turned his membership card. He has not been attending your meeting.
leave that to us to deal.
There's no shying away from the
The
issues.
system is held accountable. The leaders are accountable for the funds, for the resources that they manage.
No sitting on the fence.
The same thing that made you live where you are may confront you.
Focus Nigeria, 10 a.m., Monday to Friday on AIT. The issues as they break. The multitude, the political figures, the state and non-state actors.
It's a serious threat to democracy.
And our government seem to be incapable of protecting.
The scheming.
This is not a period we should sit back and go.
Every part of this country is equal.
The intrigues.
There can be no one person that is bigger than the party.
Deft moves and the momentous declaration.
We didn't get any protection.
I'm not particularly against anybody.
We track and capture them all.
I don't believe in godfatherism in politics.
Follow in-depth analysis and no-holds-barred interviews.
Armed forces of the country is well capable. They need the political will.
Are they just waking up from sleep? Is there complacency?
Feel the pulse of happenings in the political arena on AIT Democracy Today. Widely acclaimed authority on politics. Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time.
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, this is Democracy Today on AIT. And of course, we're discussing the APC convention. It's coming this weekend, remember? Alleged nomination forms holding. And of course, the PDP internal crisis and the convention coming this weekend as well. I have joining me in the studio now a public affairs analyst and a social impact expert. I'm talking about no other than Segun Showme. Thanks for joining the program tonight.
And Otumba next time. Takes a lot to be an Otumba.
Wow.
Thank you.
Please, could you say that again so that the audience
Add
will themselves?
Otumba Segun Showme.
That means you are a chief, a royalty.
Exactly. So when you call me Segun Showme without putting Otumba.
Okay, let me do that again.
Yeah,
Otumba,
don't worry.
Segun
Let's
Showme.
go. Nah, yeah, right. Nah, let's go.
It's all
I'm
right.
pulling your leg.
Good
Maybe
to
you
see
went
you.
another way. It's good to see you too. What's up?
Well, we've been here trying to understand what is going on, especially within the opposition PDP. This is a party that many Nigerians loved back then. Even till now, you know that many Nigerians who are not even members of your party love the party and would like to see the party rise from all of these. Going.
And may the soul of Alego Dokpesi Raymond rest in peace.
It thunders. Amen.
I recall how it came to be, and imagining that the question on the table, the conversation is the PDP and its issues, and I know that Raymond is sorely missed because
I
we
understand.
were around.
We miss him every day.
No,
Definitely.
I'm talking within the context of the party.
Absolutely.
He was somebody who could bring people together and work very hard and all that. And of course, his shoes are empty. Nobody can step into it. That said, I think the thing is that frayed nerves will get calm. We've pushed as hard as we can to get everybody to be reasonable. And I listened to the latest press engagement of the SAN Turaki. And I feel that maybe some of our agitations is beginning to hit the right nerves. Hopefully, they will follow through on the reconciliation as they plan. Hopefully, they will have a eureka moment, you know, that moment where you say, hey, this party is dying. If we don't do something, it's gone. And let's see how that plays out. You know, anyone who has been with our party and who's been a long-standing member with our party, like I have been and like so many others, including Tamino Turaki and a few of them, one of the things that we know about our party is that we have this thing we call family affair.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how frail the nerve is, it doesn't matter how combative the situation, it doesn't matter how, you know, excessive even the rhetorics are. We usually have a way of going back and say, okay, let's go resolve it. So let's hope that will play out. If it does play out, it will have rescued the party somewhat. We have about a year, all put together, next year, May, to finish an election. People are going to do their calculations after convention. After the convention of the APC, a new executive will be in place, brand new. If we get through our,
APC.
I'm just coming. If we get through our own convention to a new executive will be in place, brand new. And then we're going to do the perception audit. There's something, the perception audit is a specialized communication research that helps you measure how the general of the society sees each of those executives. And based on that, then we'll start to plan. I always say, what political parties must do is to plan to be alive, to be relevant for all seasons. It does not matter how well you are doing today. We did very well for 16 years. There's always going to come a day when you have to lose. And when you do lose, how do you plan yourself back to reckoning? And you must give it to the PDP. For all of the years that democracy has existed in this country since 1990, we're the only standing legacy party. That's something to cherish. That's something to try to save. But hey, people are getting really impatient. If people get the impression that the shenanigans of individuals is hurting the collective, then of course, people will react. Let's just pray that common sense will move us across this hurdle.
Even while you're praying, others are worried with mortifying fears, really, that considering the time frame that you have between now and the elections, that it is, they are afraid that you will not be on the ballot as time is going.
We are luckier than most of the other parties in opposition.
For instance, the party primaries are almost
here. We are
here.
luckier than most of the other parties in opposition.
Only luck will get you that far now.
Because we have recognition of name, recognition of logo, recognition of payoff line for 20-something years. So it therefore follows that if we get our act together, our investment over the years in elections, at grassroots, at polling units, over the years, we can always raise it up.
The reason I mentioned
the PDP does not have too much of an issue at the backline of the grassroots. The problem is at the top. And I think if the heads at the top are not too empty, they themselves should look themselves in the mirror and say, hey, what's going to be the end game of this
about
play?
Heads at the top. That's talking about heavyweights in your party, like
everybody's a heavyweight. I am. Everybody is.
Senators, governors, House of Representatives members. You see, now you just lost another governor. That is supposed to get you people worried, because it also has to do with your, your financial strength, your numerical strength. Because as they live with, they are so-called followers.
Yeah, it's a very serious. I'm not going to downplay it. It's a very, very serious situation we find ourselves. But there is one glimmer of hope, and that glimmer of hope is hinged on the size of the voting public. At the last count, I've not checked the latest, we have more than 90 million, beg your pardon, registered PVCs for Nigerians. Plus or minus those that may have died if they've not done the affix, which is to remove, clean up their own books in INEC, will still be maybe about 80 million. If you have 80 million available electorates, you can't spend too much time being afraid of your rival because of governors. Your interest, which have been spending an obscene amount of money in the country and even in Ogun, is to do a reorientation of people to try to convince them to take a stand and come out and vote. As we speak, I have radio communication running on more than 5 or 6 radio stations paying, not campaigning, just saying, Nigerians, you have to take a stand. Democracy is all we've got. We created democracy so that you can have a play. And now if you are going to take a stand, then it makes it easy. So what am I saying in essence? Anybody can win or lose an election at any time. In the build-up to 2015, the president then, our president then, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, had his own people and had his own governors and had all the so-called capacity to influence things. And the APC, I know, because I'm interested in this kind of research, they had very little resources. The total spend they have on communication and radio and pay and all of those kinds of things was just $1 billion. Okay. And we had spent an obscene amount of money. But if you know where to put narrative, if you know where to put the communication, if you know how to frame the discussion, there will always be an opportunity to move people. What people cannot follow you to do is chaos. And that's where the PDP has its challenge.
But the situation is not the same now because there is acute hunger. And the APC is busy trying to woo people.
Everybody is their right.
So much handouts, here and there.
Listen. It's the right of all.
The situation is not the same now as in 2015.
It's the right of all political parties to woo people. You cannot begrudge them that. The question that the Nigerian people will have to answer is that, like I said, let us wait until the executives are in place so we know who are the people that are leading the APC. Who are the people leading the PDP? And if ADC gets its act together, who are the executives? Who are the people leading them? Then the Nigerians can do, if they don't know, we'll do and share with them a perception audit of how do the Nigerians see these people. You see, for you to win an election, when you ask me a question and I answer you with a lot of excruciating pain, bringing experience that was garnered over many years. You have to design every campaign with the top coach being very strong. If the top coach is strong, then it can pull all the carriages. The challenge the PDP is having now is that the top coach is a little bit feeble. And as soon as we're able to fix that top coach, it can pull. And for the ruling party, there is a sober position that I have. And the position is sober because you want the country to make progress. You want to measure development based on what is being done and what is being said and what is being proposed. And when you look at that, you begin to feel that, okay, at least we know what they're trying to do. And then you look at the people that are coming. And if you understand anything about the election and what you call decision-making process that is called voting, it's called residual decision-making process. Residual decision-making process. What that means is that by the time the person gets to the point where he has to take that decision, he has to recall some things that helps him to say yes or no, left or right. Now, in that process, everybody will react to the hope that is before them or the despair that they are feeling. So for the ruling party, they can share all the rights they want, that's their business. The reality of the matter is that they will have to deal with the despair that people feel. And our duty is to make sure that we bring about hope that is measurable, that is believable.
Apart from the your membership strength that is about 80 million, just as you put
it. The electorate, not our members.
Okay. Well, I also know that you can also to some extent brag about your membership strength. Apart from that, what else do you have that when the campaigns begin that you could use to campaign? I mean, convince Nigerians that.
No, I think that look, if you frame the question this way, the question I will have to ask the Nigerians is that Nigerians, nobody is going to spoon feed you to take a decision to rescue yourself. You have lived through the past 8 + 3 years of the APC, and nobody is going to allow them to escape the mistake of their last 8 years, the previous 8 years. And nobody is going to allow them to reinvent a conversation as though the previous 8 years did not work or did not happen under them. And nobody is going to allow them to escape the 3 years that they've added on. So the campaign against them is easy. What is personally my greatest challenge is we cannot desire them to lose if we don't know who we wish to win. You must, first of all, determine who is that fellow that you want the country to be handed over to. then you must frame him. You must listen to him. You must examine to be sure that you are not jumping you are not moving the country from fine
Good
pan.
enough you just mentioned that because I was
You
just
are not moving the country from fine pan to fire. That's just it. If we decide, if we get a good material that we say, okay, yeah, this is good, they are gone.
Considering the crisis going on, good enough though, resolution appears to be in the horizon. But by the time that is over, you are going to begin to talk about, who's going to hold the ticket and all of that. Yes, you said you are definitely going to be on the ballot. So, what are we looking at? What are you don't necessarily need to mention it because I know you may not want to tell me that. But
what do you mean?
The personalities, because your party has lost
anybody who wants to contest any election, first of all, has to present himself. You have to believe, you have to finish from your inside and say, okay, yeah, there's something that I want to present. And then you have to go about saying, okay, I want to be governor in Ogun. And everybody's aware that I've been going about saying, this is what I need to do here, this is what I need to do there. We're going to worry about the party and its own first line hurdle of primaries and ticket and party management.
Okay.
That is a big hurdle. But once you cross that hurdle, campaign is easy. But for the national, because Nigeria is a complex nation, made up of many languages, many tribes, many religious opinions and all of that, it requires a final line of looking at what is fair, what can work, what is equitable, what makes sense in the long run, and what is going to bring development. You see, we've gone past the era of assuming that every Tom, Dick, and Harry opens his mouth is capable of solving the problem he's surfacing.
Okay.
We must ask them the tough questions. Okay, look, there's insecurity in our land. That's a major issue. What's your plan on it? You can't be stoning the pigeon. Oh, he's not doing it well. Oh, he's not doing it well. That's not a plan. The plan has to be, this is what I want to do here. This is how I think we should do here. This is what I'm going to do with Kinetic. Right. That's the kind of thing anybody that wants to be president has to be saying now.
In 2015, before the APC became what it is, before it clinched power, there was a merger. In fact, pre-2015, they had to come together, several of them, and then the merger and all of that. That's how APC was born, and that's how they clinched power today. Is there something like that, in the talks as
you
well
can't always,
for the PDP?
You can't always.
You also need that strength, numerical strength.
Wait a minute. You can't always insist that the playbook that was invented by them, Bola Tinubu and Buhari, they invented that playbook. You can't always insist that you're going to beat them by a playbook they invented.
You are all politicians,
Just
though.
Listen, man. If you have a question you don't want me to answer,
go ahead.
Now, you can't insist that the playbook they invented, you're going to beat them with it. So what I'm trying to say to you is that every time an election is in place, it's like going to the tailor to measure yourself again. That was how they got power. But one thing you people are always forgetting is that there was blessed memory, Muhammadu Buhari, who bled over 3 election cycles to drill down support into the rural northern grassroots where people turn up. And then there was a Bola Ahmed Tinubu who sat in his own party, ADA, CACN, managing the southern flank, and then they came and clicked. And if you want to do that now, I'll have to ask you, which of them looks like a Buhari in the opposition side, and which of them even really looks remotely like a Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Like you rightly said, it doesn't have to be the exactly
so that's
their
why
own
I answered you that way because
so
it therefore means that do not imagine that a vote that has not been cast has been won. It is the height of excessive delusion to imagine that a party that won the last election with just 8.9 million votes can then be boasting that it has won an election, the vote has not been cast. So those of you who invite us for this conversation, when we do come, don't make it seem as if defeating the APC is an uphill task. I promise you, cheaply defeatable. The things you look at, money. Do you know how much we spent on 2015 election? We've spent so much. I don't want to give you the figures because it's embarrassing. We spent so much money in the 2015 election to the point that traditional rulers were even fighting over dollars, and we lost. And they didn't have that kind of money, but they did the framing right, they put the messaging right, they put the kinds of things that can motivate and stimulate the Nigerian people to help them. Political parties can win election on their own. The Nigerian mass of the people are the ones that will sort of just in faith help political parties to cross the line. Because there are 4 issues they will think about. 1, turn up. If the people don't turn up, the ruling party will win. Number 2, they have to be animated enough and interested enough to insist that if they vote, they'll count it at the polling unit and they're going to stand there and make sure that it's recorded. Number 3, there's something called reverse logistics, which is they're going to follow your numbers all the way to where they're going to, either the collation center or whatever. And the 5th one is that you're going to be happy to jubilate when you won. So if you win in your polling unit, there's no point winning in your polling unit and keeping quiet. The jubilation should be through. And I can guarantee you, the world today, I'm not talking about yesterday, the geopolitics of the world today, the play of the Americans and all of the powers in the world, we know them and we have access to them. They're not going to tolerate any BS from anybody if they don't win. So if whoever is deceiving them in the villa, he had better deceive them well so that they win fair and square. Because I guarantee you nobody's going to allow them to.
Now that you're expecting another convention right after the one in Ibadan and all of that, what would you be expecting differently from this one, this time around?
I have said very clearly, those who played the play of G5 must ensure that the 5th partner, which is Sheyi Makinde, attends that convention. Because if Sheyi does not attend that convention, the Southwest will have nothing with which to campaign with by way of performance in our zone. And the Southwestern zone, where I come from, we don't follow rabble-rousers. We are always we're the children of our law. We know how to stay in opposition. We're happy in opposition. We don't care about that. There's a certain character trait that our people can relate with. And Sheyi is the only one that has it now in our area.
In other words, you are not one of those who can easily be wooed into the ruling party.
I mean, if
I'm talking about you in person now.
Yes, we are the kinds of people, Yoruba people, my people. We are the kind of people that in the first line, even no matter what you do, we're not going to give all the numbers to one person. We've never done that. As brilliant as Obafemi Awolowo was in this world, we still gave numbers to Shagari and gave numbers to Awo.
I understand.
And we have never done, even when Obasanjo, our son, was running in 1999, we didn't give him numbers. And when we gave him numbers in 2003, although we won a lot of states, we still gave his rivals numbers. And in all the years, even in 2023, we still gave Peter Obi number. We still gave Atiku number.
Let me tell you why I asked you that question, because I understand that you were with the president recently.
That was a long time ago. I could go to the president.
It's still recent.
Don't get me wrong.
Are there talks, in the offing that you may be offered, an appointment? Because there are going to be vacancies very soon.
I am 90% persuaded that the direction he's going is not bad for the country.
Considering what we have right now?
Can you stop? What do you have? You want me to start defending him and then you say I'm
darkness, hunger, insecurity?
Can you stop?
But you are aware these are existing.
You see, sometimes when I listen to you people on here personally, maybe you don't even understand that I used to have a program called Lions. I just know how to do an interview.
I understand that you are a media personality.
You can't be insisting that you've invited me to come and talk about PDP and suddenly you want me to start defending the opposition. I won't do that.
This is me asking you questions regarding what concerns you.
Just listen.
It's still related.
It's not. But listen, let me try and explain to you. If you are talking about the power infrastructure of the country, the major reason why Nigeria is not doing as well as it should do over the years, especially since the days of democracy, is that everybody always assumes that the solution to the problem is easy. If it was that easy, why haven't they solved it? Now you're talking about food. Is there a law in this country that says that those of you in the southern part of the country, maybe a little bit of, after Nasarawa, where there's a list of the insecurity is not much, is there a law that says that you cannot farm for your brothers in the north who are dealing with insurgency now?
Everywhere in this country right now is being plagued by, headers who are, trampling on farmers and all of that.
You had the military officer Buhari for each other. Why didn't he finish it?
Government is a continuum. So why is it the current government not ending insecurity like they promised?
The ones that are making what have they ever told you about insecurity? Did you not hear me speak to that now? That
it is the same government.
Listen, you not hear me speak to the fact that these problems don't yield to simple answer. And you on-air personalities, media men, should stop confusing the Nigerian
Since you believe that
electorate.
since you believe that the president is going in the direction that is good for the country, so I ask you again: would you be accepting an appointment if he gives you?
You are not the one who is going to offer me an appointment.
Definitely not. So I'm asking you.
Listen, you are not the one who is going to offer me an appointment. And I don't know why people romanticize appointments. I don't. As a matter of fact, even when I was...
It's an opportunity to serve.
I'm serving already on many levels that you don't know. But
a higher calling.
When you say appointment, what's appointment really?
A minister, for instance.
Yeah, okay. They make you a minister. What if they don't even have the capability to fund their ministry? With the attitude they are...
That is when you now decline.
You see, you people have created a problem for us, and that's why we're not doing well. Let me explain.
The media?
A little bit.
Not the government?
A little. Just listen, man. What is government? It's not all of us put together.
They hold the power.
Oh, Jesus. I think you're naive. What power does the government
No,
have?
I'm not.
You are now.
They have the laws. They
jumping
run
into
the
my
law.
mouth and not let you asking a question and let me answer. Listen.
By all means, you have the freedom to answer.
Governance is a serious business. It's not sitting on television station and making conjectures that cannot be backed. The country did not come into existence in 2023. This country has been around for a while, and some of us have been here. And we can tell you that incremental successes in some area and there are disappointments where there are disappointments. When you see a nation dealing with multi-dimensional terrorism of the nature that we're dealing with, and you cannot go into that zone and kill everybody just because you want to show that you have guns, you have to stop making it seem like a simple thing. You have already brought in collaboration from foreign powers. The Americans are here, all of them are trying to help you with the weapons and training. The government itself is putting a lot of money into this fight. And you think that if it was easy to finish, you would have finished. Do you know what a terrorist looks like? Someone can be dressed like this and he will be a terrorist. And he can be dressed like this and he will not be. Someone can be dressed like this and he will be a kidnapper. And he can be dressed like this and he will not be. Do you know how hard it is to be able to isolate them when they live within the community? Look. We can play foolish games. I'm too big for that. The issue on the table is, you want us to talk about PDP. I have told you, we can get our act together and we can go and do a very robust challenge to the next election.
In the next election.
And I tell you with every sense of responsibility, if we present ourselves and we give you people the best of ideas, and the Nigerian people reject us, you haven't done us any injustice.
Otumba Segun Showumi, a PDP chieftain and a public affairs analyst. Unfortunately, our time is spent.
With the consequence of the decision that
Many thanks indeed for joining us on the
me.
program tonight. Otumba Segun Showumi. I'm going to have to invite you one more time.
Okay, I hope you won't be this argumentative so that we can have an interview. I'll come.
A conversation will always involve an
I don't have a problem with the conversation, but jumping in and not letting somebody get his stuff together.
We were just having a discussion.
I understand. Maybe you guys have watched media and you all think that nonsense.
That's our show for tonight.
Is
Thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you again tomorrow. I am Enemaku Ajochegbe. Bye for now.
Nice to be here.